Okay, hello everybody. I hope you can hear me. My name's Michael from the University of Liverpool. I'm going to wait a few more minutes for some more guests to arrive before we begin. So just hold on and maybe in 2-3 minutes we'll start. Okay, I think we will make a start. So, once again, hello and welcome to everybody. My name is Michael Mohebi from the University of Liverpool, and I manage international recruitment in Turkey. So, it's such a pleasure to be with you today on the webinar. Of course, it would be much better if we could speak in Turkey in person, and hopefully one day soon I can come back. I absolutely adore Turkey. I love visiting the country, and as soon as we can fly, fingers crossed, hopefully I can come and see you in person. But for today, we will do a webinar where I'll tell you, basically I'll talk about the University of Liverpool. I know some of you may be applicants to the university, some of you may already have an offer, and some of you may just be interested and thinking about applying in the future. So I'm going to give you an overview of the University of Liverpool, talk about the things that we're known for, the university's strengths, and the type of university that we are. And of course, we will also acknowledge the coronavirus situation. And we'll talk about some of the changes happening in the University of Liverpool in response to coronavirus, and some updates that you might find useful. And after I've finished speaking from a university perspective, we have one of our current international students from Egypt. His name is Ibrahim, and I'm going to hand over to Ibrahim after I've finished speaking, and he's going to talk to you about his time at the university and talk to you from a student perspective. So, teşekkür ederim for joining us, and let's begin. So, the University of Liverpool is kind of a special type of university in the UK. We are a Russell Group institution. The Russell Group is a group of research-intensive universities, and this means that we're in the top 24 research-intensive institutions in the UK. You can think of the Russell Group in a similar way that you might think of the Ivy League in the United States. So other members of the Russell Group are the University of Oxford, Cambridge, Manchester, Durham, Edinburgh, of course Liverpool. So we're in that top group of sort of prestigious institutions. Now, we were established in 1881, so we're about 139 years old. So very traditional, very academic, very research focused. The university's got 9 Nobel Prize winners for new discoveries in science and so on. And we have about 33,000 students. So we're a very big university, and we're so big that our campus is actually in the city centre of Liverpool. So it's not a campus behind walls, it's actually in the city, but we have our own sort of private area of the city centre. And we were the first university in the world to establish departments in architecture, civic design, biosciences. So we're a university of firsts. And another name for the Russell Group is Red Brick. Sometimes when you hear about Russell Group universities, they're called Red Brick universities. And the University of Liverpool was the first Red Brick university in the UK. And that's the building you can see on the screen. Now it is a gallery and museum and a cafe. But that was actually the first building in the university. And then the whole campus slowly spread out and developed from that point. Okay, so the University of Liverpool, we have about 400 different degree subjects that you can study. We have 3 faculties. We have the Faculty of Science and Engineering, Humanities and Social Sciences, and Health and Life Sciences. But if I was to summarise the key subjects that Liverpool is famous for, I would say it's the programmes that lead to the traditional professions. So that's things like engineering, architecture, medicine, finance, business, law, different health science programs, medicine, dentistry, vet science, and so on. Now, we do have a wide range of programs, so you can study, as well as science programs, you can study modern languages, psychology, history, and so on, music, most programs that you can think of, we will have. But we are known around the world for being a professionally focused institution. So these are the subjects that you should really think of when you think about Liverpool. In terms of our facilities, we're a very traditional institution, and part of our campus is very traditional and has a more oldie world kind of a feel. And around that has developed lots of very modern, award-winning facilities. So we have 2 libraries on campus, and those libraries are open for 24 hours a day. So if you're from a background where you prefer to work late into the evenings, for example, that's a possibility. And we also have a 24-hour security team on campus. So for students who like to work very late into the night, there's also a security team who can take you back to your accommodation if you need any kind of support. And we have lots and lots of support. So we have English language programs, both before you join us at the university, but also whilst you're with us, you can benefit from ongoing English language support. We have academic support. So if you need to improve your skills in terms of academic writing, or maybe research skills, referencing, and so on, these core academic skills, they're available to students throughout their programs. And as you can see on the screen, we've got lots and lots of sources of support, medical support, and ongoing international advice and guidance. We have the biggest guild of students in Europe, and this is our student society's hub. So the Guild of Students is managed by current students for students. So this is where you can create or join sports clubs, clubs to do with cultural societies, general interests. You can do activities with friends and different students. Maybe you're interested in politics and you want to join a political society. But it's an amazing place. It's got cafes, bars, restaurants, clubs, societies, and so on. And we've also got an award-winning career service at the university. At the moment, because of the university's international reach and international profile, as well as our award-winning careers and employability service, 97% of our university graduates go on to further study or employment within 6 months of graduation. So that is an amazing statistic, really, and it gives you at least an indication of some of the value that you gain from a Liverpool degree. We have about 220,000 alumni spread right across the world. So there's always an opportunity for you to connect with alumni, more or less in any country that you'd like to live and work in the future. So if you want to connect with our alumni network to look at job opportunities or research collaboration or whatever your reasons are, there's most likely going to be an opportunity for you to do that. So it's a really good time to be in Liverpool. One of the ways that we help with your employability is through our careers hub. And it's a very innovative, modern employability service. It's not the same as the old-fashioned careers teams where you would essentially visit an on-campus job centre and apply for jobs and do some work around your CV and how to make a job application. It's much more innovative. Basically, we have 3 zones where we can help you, and our careers coaches will sit with you and work with you in 3 zones. So we have the explore zone, where you will explore different job opportunities, different career sectors, and within those sectors, specific roles that are new and emerging. So we can point you towards jobs you may never have heard of in the past and look at specific roles and see what you might be suitable for. Then we move on to the connect zone, and this is where we can connect you with current employers in the region. So we will have employer networking events that you can come along to and speak to current employers. We connect you with professionals who are currently working, so you can see what is the reality of a particular job within a particular sector, because we will bring those professionals in to talk to you and give you some mentoring and guidance. And then we look at the apply zone. And in the apply zone, this is where we help you to become not just proficient in applying for jobs and writing CVs, but we take it to the next level. So how to be strategic, how to match your CV to a particular sector and a particular role to enhance the probability that you get a call back for an interview. Then we can help you with interview preparation, any kind of employability skill, no matter which phase of the journey you're on. The careers coaches who you can see on the screen, jumping up and down, being very, very happy, they will help you. And as well as that physical one-to-one support, we have an ongoing program of digital events throughout the year. And that can be on a range of topics. For example, using business analytics and data analysis to make business decisions and so on. So we can make you much more employable in a range of ways. In terms of our fees and scholarships, Liverpool as a city, I'm actually from Liverpool, so that's why I've got this strange accent. Liverpool is an amazing city to live in, and Ibrahim will talk to you a bit more about that. But Liverpool has one of the lowest cost of living in the UK. So compared to most cities in the UK, the cost of living is already lower, so you should bear that in mind. The tuition fees at the University of Liverpool are also lower than many comparable universities in the Russell Group. So that's 2 ways you can already gain a win at Liverpool. Now, we also have some scholarships. I've given an example of one on the screen, but there are others which you can find if you follow the link. So if you are applying for a postgraduate program, let's say a master's course, if you have achieved in your licence diplomatie a GPA of 3.3 out of 4, then you will get an automatic discount of £2,500 on your tuition fees. So when you couple the scholarship with the low cost of living and the lower tuition fees, that can come together to give you a really, really good offer from a financial perspective. And I'll let Ibrahim talk to you more about the city and what it's like to live here. So as I come to the end of my part, I recognise that you will have a lot of questions. So of course, with the coronavirus situation, it's very natural that you'll have questions about the start dates in the university, how will your accommodation be impacted, what happens around English language qualifications in terms of pre-sessional English, or you know, which type of qualifications are we accepting at the moment. So I understand you've got loads and loads of questions. Some of these questions we can answer, and some of them we're unable to answer at the moment, but we will be able to answer soon. Obviously, all of the governments in the world and the universities and different sectors are working very hard to come up with answers to these questions and to come up with a way forward, really, for the new economy and the new world. What I'll tell you for now is that in terms of our start dates, for most undergraduate students, teaching will begin at Liverpool on the 12th of October. Now, at the moment, the UK has instigated a quarantine period of 14 days. So for all international travellers, there will be a standard quarantine of 14 days. There are some exemptions to that. And the governments have basically highlighted these exemptions on the government website. And I think the Foreign and Commonwealth Office website for the UK will also give you more information. But for most people, you will join us in the UK at least 14 days before your teaching begins, and you will be asked to isolate in your accommodation. Now, during that period of isolation, you won't pay for your accommodation. The accommodation for you will be free for this period, so no need to worry about finance. And then if you're an undergraduate, your programme will begin on the 12th of October. For postgraduate students, there are a range of start dates, ranging from October to January. So you get a bit more flexibility, because we also recognise that the impact on a person who is going to study a one-year programme, a master's programme, can be a lot bigger than if you've got a 3-year undergraduate programme. So you've got more flexibility around start dates. And I'm going to show you some links in a moment where you can find out exactly when various programmes begin. I'll also mention around English language qualifications, we have moved all of our pre-sessional programmes online. So all pre-sessional programmes from now until the end of the academic year will be taught online. And in terms of the teaching style, we now know that we're developing every day an innovative new learning model, basically where we will provide all students with a mix of face-to-face teaching and online programs, online teaching sessions. So you'll have a mix of the two. It will be blended learning. For example, if we would formally have delivered large lectures with a few hundred people, we will now not be doing that, and we will teach lectures online for the time being. So that's safer at the moment, obviously, for your students. But we will teach face-to-face for laboratory, lab experiments, for small group class teaching, for seminar teaching, and so on. And we will be giving you the perfect blend to give you the best experience possible. So you'll still get an amazing on-campus experience, but it will be as safe as possible as well. And there'll be more details communicated about that very soon. So on the screen, you can see our main webpage, and you can see 3 links at the top of the screen. I've highlighted the one you should go to for more information. And when you go there, you will be given these 2 links, basically. So if you follow the first link, that will go to our FAQ page, which means question and answer page. And every time we have a key update for you as an international student, that's where you can find the latest guidance. So do check that page. Of course, you can ask the counsellors at BEB, and they can also keep in touch with us. And I will also be writing to all of our applicants and offer holders from Turkey quite soon to invite you to more webinars delivered by the university. So we've got a way to keep in touch and to create dialogue. Finally, really, before I finish, just to let you know some of the things we have done as a response to the COVID situation. So because Liverpool is a research university, we were very well placed to immediately begin research programs to help in the fight against the coronavirus. So Liverpool immediately started 22 research projects with about £1.1 million funding. And because we have the largest hospital in the region on our campus, we also... Sorry, I think I can hear somebody's microphone. If that's fine, but you might want to mute yourself. Yeah, so because we've got a hospital on campus, we were able to collaborate with the hospital and open up our accommodation to hospital staff once the students had gone home. And you can see on the screen a number of ways that we've helped. But the fight from Liverpool is ongoing, and we are committing a lot of funds and a lot of research capability towards the fight back against the coronavirus. And that is going to continue day by day. So thank you very much for listening. Teşekkür ederim. I'm going to hand over now to our international student, Ibrahim, and then we're going to stay on the line later on to answer any questions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
No problem. And over to you, Ibrahim.
I'm just getting the slide. Hi everyone, I'm Ibrahim. I've been studying here now for the last 10 months. And just like Michael briefly said, this really is one of the best places to study. And as you can see here on your screen, for those of you who don't know, Liverpool is to the northwest of England. And we mention this because the university offers a meet and greet service that I'll get to in just a moment. But for those of you who would potentially be arriving in London, you would then take a 2-hour train from Euston to arrive to Liverpool. And Manchester is about 45 minutes away. Now, the university does recommend, and I personally recommend that if you're feeling anxious upon arrival, or just like that first shock of being here, then if you have flights from Turkey to Manchester, which I believe are available, this is the route that you should take, because then you get to ask the university to offer you the meet and greet service. This is basically a service where student ambassadors such as myself, and like you see on your screen, we come and we basically greet you at the airport, and the objective is to make you feel absolutely welcome here, and to ask any queries that you might have on the ground. Maybe you need a SIM card on arrival, maybe you need help in finding your accommodation when we get back to Liverpool, whatever like it may be. Rest assured, this is why we're here, to make sure you feel welcome from the moment that you arrive at the airport. Generally, it's a great city here to be in, very student friendly. Like Michael said as well, it's very affordable to live here. It depends, of course, on how much you spend, but you can actually budget for groceries and like your general expenses between £50 to £100 a week, and that should be more than enough. It's going to cover everything, not entertainment though. That will be additional as to like what each one likes to do or doesn't do, movies, partying, and all that. But the point that I need to stress on is that in terms of affordability, it's a very affordable city for you to choose to live in, unlike London, which is very expensive now compared. Now, some of you may be wondering about accommodation. Now, while there's like There are many private student accommodations. I believe the university ones to be the go-to options because everything is on campus. Like Michael said, if you can see to the top corner of your screen, the red brick building at the back there, and this is an example of an accommodation on campus. Now, the good thing is that the city is generally small, but when you're on campus all the time, it's like you're within the student hub. You get up, it's a 5 to 10 minute walk maximum to class, not more than that. You have restaurants on campus, you have banks, 2 or 3 retailers within a 5-minute walk to all the accommodation in campus. Now, there are different types of accommodation to suit everyone's needs, whether you want to rent out a studio on your own, whether you want to rent out a room with a friend perhaps, to live together, and then you'll share the common area, which is the kitchen, living area, and a shared toilet with other members of like the cluster that you could potentially be in. It all depends on the budget that you have. And what we would recommend that you do is that if you have an offer to study, if you send in an email to university before 31st of July, then university guarantees that you will be able to get a room in one of their accommodations on campus. I think there are around 7 or 8 that you can choose from, and all of them are within a 5 to 10 minute walking distance to class and a 20 to 25-minute walk to the city center. But like I said, I would recommend that you choose something that is based on campus for ease of mind of everything. You'll have your laundry on site, retailers are close by, it's not a long walk to class, and so on and so forth. Now, we're not the only university here. This is a very, very vibrant student city. There are about 90,000 students here, like for one academic year at a time, across the 6 universities. Beyond and beside London, there's a lot of heritage and culture to take in here in terms of museums, in terms of course of the 2 football clubs that are here, and the Liverpool one, which is the biggest outdoor mall. I'm not sure if it's in the world, but I think in Europe. And there's something to do and to suit like every need. As you can see on your screen, this is a brief like picture of the Liverpool One shopping area. Any store and restaurant that you can think of is likely there. And it's just a great place to be outdoors, like on the weekend and so on and so forth. Now, putting all of this together, because there's so many students here, so there are always a lot of student discounts on food and clothes and restaurants. And I believe this to be very important as well, because if you're budgeting for 50 to 100, you can budget maybe another 30 to 40 per week to buy things and go out and have some more fun at affordable rates. Of course, there's the M&S Bank Arena for concerts and the larger gatherings and theater shows that usually take place. None of this will likely happen across the next few months though. I personally think everything will start to resume normally by October, early November, where we can start to have large gatherings and so on and so forth. This is a picture here of the museum by the docks. Now, the docks is one of the oldest areas in Liverpool, and they used to depend on this industry a lot for income for the city, and this too got developed, including this museum as well. So basically, Liverpool is, from my experience and what I can tell you, end to end, it's a small city on foot. You can get to most places within 30-35 minutes on foot. It is very affordable to live. People are very outgoing and friendly, and there's always like a nice buzz, not too rough as into like the working environment or the busyness of that, but you can take a bit of a laid back approach here, because things just seem a bit more easier here, if you get what I mean. On your picture here, and I hadn't known this before I got here, is that one of the biggest horse races in the world, they take place each year. And this is a snapshot here of one of the city's team's stadiums where you can go on tour as well. Of course, this guy here needs no introduction for the Arab world, Mo Salah. Now, putting all of this into perspective in terms of like why it is a very good student city to live in terms of affordability, how vibrant it is, and how relaxed the approaches that you can take. In 2018, the city won the award of the best city to live in terms of student life. Coupled with that, it's the fastest growing economy in the UK because they are always developing here, not just like in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of like the mentality and businesses moving forward. They're right up there in terms of growing into the future. I believe there's a lot of part-time work available here as well, because there's a lot of retailers. So rest assured, you can find work for your 20 hours a week. I myself, I'm doing 3 different jobs, and I've been doing them all year long. And it's been hard to juggle at times with all the studies. As long as you're disciplined and focused, I think you should manage about 15 hours a week, and that will help in paying a lot of what your day-to-day expenses will be. Now, if you've received an offer, and because there are so many ambassadors such as myself and people from all over the world, the university has created a platform called UniBuddy. It's basically a messaging service that you get to use. Once you have an offer, the university sends you a link. Through this link, you'll see profiles for ambassadors like on your screen here, with their different profiles. Maybe you want to talk to someone who's done a course that you're thinking of to ask something a bit more academic. Maybe you just have a bit of an open-ended question as to what an ambassador would recommend, exactly which accommodation for you to stay in, or the day-to-day life, or finding work, or something non-academic that can be more personal. This is the platform. Select your ambassador and shoot away the questions, and all ambassadors are in hand to help you as best as they can with their queries, and they're the bridge between you and the different academic departments in university. If there's something that we don't know, we get back to them right away, and they best inform us so that we can best handle your query moving forward. On your screen here is a basic and brief snapshot of a student ambassador profile. You can see that she's from India. She's studying an LLB in law. So perhaps you're coming here to do a legal course, you'd like to get in touch with her and ask her more course-specific questions, then you should do so. I, for one, am doing the football MBA, which is related to sports management. Maybe then I can help you with something that's course-related. Maybe someone is from the same region as you, so you can speak the same language and communicate in Arabic, English, French, Spanish. The ambassador will be on hand to talk to you in the language that you feel is most comfortable for you. Now, on your screen now are all the contacts for you to get in touch with. As you can see, Michael, who's been speaking with you today, this is his email for any questions that we may not answer today when we end this call. Feel free to get in touch with him. Now, there are 3 emails for the admissions team. If you're an undergraduate student, you should use the first email that you see on your screen. So for as well, if you're a postgrad student, and for all general inquiries that you're not sure who to direct it to, then you send on the email that starts with the IRRO@liverpool.ac.uk. ac.uk. Regarding the meet and greet service, if you're planning on arriving at Manchester Airport, then you should send an email to the meet and greet at liverpool.ac.uk, where you will give them basically your arrival date and times, so that we make sure as the university that we send the ambassadors to meet and greet you, like I explained earlier, at Manchester Airport. Finally, the international advice and guidance team. If you have something that's maybe more related to a visa issue, to a process, to a procedure, this is the team you want to reach out to. They could then best direct it. If it's an academic, they will guide it and direct the email to the admissions team. If it's more generic, they will be in touch with you immediately. And finally, if you are looking into booking the accommodation on campus, and I highly recommend that you do so, this is the email that you should send on before the 31st of July, so that you guarantee yourself a room and don't have any headaches beyond that date in securing your accommodation when you come here to Liverpool. I hope this gives you a brief as into what life is here like for me as a student, and potentially for you to come. And I'll be here with Michael if you'd like to ask me any personal questions or have any specific questions, something I may have missed, something that's on your mind. We're more than happy to take all questions. Thank you. Back to you.
So thank you very much for your presentation, Michael and Ibrahim. It should be very useful for the attendees, all the attendees. I would like to give a brief information regarding BEB, British Education Bureau. I would like to do this in Turkish. So let me share the screen. Arkadaşlar teşekkür ediyoruz katıldığınız için. British Education Bureau olarak Liverpool Üniversitesi bizim resmi temsilcisi olduğumuz üniversitelerden bir tanesi. 90'dan fazla üniversiteyle resmi temsilciliğimiz bulunuyor İngiltere'de, Birleşik Krallık'ta daha doğrusu. Burada ekranda gördüğünüz kontakt bilgilerimizi çekebilirsiniz fotoğrafını. Her türlü, yani sosyal medya olsun, internet sayfamız olsun, telefon yoluyla, mail yoluyla istediğiniz zaman başvuru sürecinde bize ulaşabilirsiniz. Tamamen ücretsiz olarak zaten vize sürecinde de olsun, konaklama konusunda her türlü bütün sorularınız için bize ulaşabilirsiniz. Onun dışında Liverpool Üniversitesi hakkında sorularınız varsa yetkilimizin de dediği gibi mesaj kutusuna aktarabilirsiniz. Oradan yanıtlamış olacağız sorularınızı. Teşekkür ederiz tekrardan.